Welcome, everybody. On behalf of Dr. Tawakkudi and the Omidyar Institute, I'm going to thank you all uh, for joining us. As per usual, we're going to start the meeting on University of Toronto time, which is 3:10. But uh, please feel free to do the greetings as Dr. Tawakkudi always mentions at the beginning of these meetings.
I would also thank our special guest, Elahé Omidyar Mir-Djalali, the founder of the Elahé Mir-Djalali Foundation at the University of Toronto. Thank you so much, Ms. Jalali, to Dr. Jalali, to come today to our meeting. Thank you so much.
Yes, I would also like to thank Leila John, Shabnam John, and also Dr. Farouqi, Dr. Moshiri, for joining us today. And also, I would like to send my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Elahé Omidyar Mir-Djalali for being here with us today. I hope we're going to have a very fruitful session.
I also wanted to thank Bilal Hashmi, who is just working behind the scene at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I forgot that. Sorry, Badalja.
So today is the National Indigenous Peoples Day in Canada. On this National Indigenous Peoples Day, we respectfully acknowledge the land on which we gather and the Elahé Omidyar Institute operates. For millennia, it has been the traditional territory of Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently the Mississaugas of the Credit. The land remains home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples from across the Turtle Islands. And we are grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and celebrate on this territory. We recognize the enduring presence and resilience of Indigenous communities and honor their rich cultures, traditions, and contributions. As we commemorate this day, we reflect on the significance of understanding our place within this history and commit to ongoing learning, dialogue, and reconciliation. Thank you all for joining us. Leila John, take over, please.
Thank you, Shabnam John, for your acknowledgement and for your introduction. I will just pass on the table to Negar Bani Safar, who is the moderator for today. And thank you, Negar John.
Thank you, Leila.
Negar John, my apologies. Before you start, I just want to note something. With everybody's permission, the participants who are not active participants, if they can turn off their videos, it would allow us better transmission to people who are connecting from lower speed internet connections, Iran or other places. So apologize to everybody that we are turning off our cameras, but that's the main reason. We want the bandwidth to be free for all the beautiful presentations and the speeches. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shabnam John and Leila John. I'm so honored to be moderating the second round of the Symposium on Exploring Contemporary Iranian Art Practices. So before we begin, I'd like to ask everybody to mute their mics so that, as Shabnam John said, mute their mics and maybe turn off their cameras so that it would be much smoother for us to proceed with the presentations. And yes, we will have 4 presenters today. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce the first presenter, who is Aitak Sorahitalab, who is a contemporary visual artist and art educator with over a decade of experience. Aitak's sculptural work and installations have graced both group and solo exhibitions, reflecting her artistic voice. She has also contributed her expertise to various art organizations as a jury and committee member in Iran and Canada. As an educator, Aitak has worked with diverse communities, including peer newcomers, special needs individuals, and marginalized groups. Her passion for social development led her to co-found and direct ERSA, a non-profit organization dedicated to supporting new Canadians in the arts in Toronto. Currently, Aitak is pursuing her academic aspirations as a PhD candidate at York University's Environmental and Urban Change program, where she continues to explore the intersection of art and social change. She's also the education manager at the Aurora Cultural Center. Aitak John, we're all ears.
Thank you for having me. Is my voice clear? Perfect. So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, thank you for the bio. I wear a lot of hats, as you noticed, but I would like to present one series of my ceramic sculptures that I call the Rhino I Know. I would like to walk you through that. کارگردانی که میشناسم. This series is well, technically is made of different kind of clays, fired, glazed, and fired again. If you have any technical question, I would be happy to answer that too, but I would go through the concepts and conceptualizing this series for you here. This is basically inspired by this poet by Isfahani is the poem that I read it in Farsi. شب‌های هجر را گذرانده‌ایم و زنده‌ایم، ما را به سخت جانی خود این گمان نبود. من کیستم؟ از خویش به تنگ آمده‌ای، دیوانه با خرد به جنگ آمده‌ای. I won't read the English version because it's my translation and it lacks accuracy, of course, but you can read it yourself. So the Rhino I Know series, it's under the theme of migration, rupture, and constant becoming. And I identify with rhinoceroses. And it's because rhinos are ancient creatures. They are massive and they are tough looking. And it all resonates with me as an immigrant or as a freedom fighter in my whole life. And having a thick skin also metaphorically resonates with me. Having that kind of a scary horn that is not actually bone, it's made of hairs. And also the presence of this creature that present the resilience and strength, usually in many cultures, causes me identify with this creature. But interestingly, rhinos are extremely gentle. They are vegetarians. They don't eat other animals. And they coexist with little birds and butterflies. And conceptually, this series of work is embedding becoming, the concept of becoming, and emphasizing that our identity is not static, but it's evolving all the time. Like rhinos who adapt to the new environment wherever they go, and they refine themselves through their experiences and interaction with the other aspects of their new environment, such as immigrants or such as migrants. This ongoing process that I can call it transformation, it creates your identity and it shapes the influence that eventually shapes you as a creator, as an entity. I try to reflect all of these concepts into this series. Rhinos usually travel solitude, and I used this concept to reflect on the modern era presentation of this dualistic experience and hybridity that we all sometimes experience. We have this concept of interconnectedness between different locations and between different cultures, but at the same time, we have this sense of disconnectedness with certain areas or certain culture or origin, if you will. So that becomes a rupture for us. As I try to show in this work, this Rhino, like many other people, find herself, and they are all females, find herself in two words, with one foot in the circle of the old and the other on the road to go somewhere else. And I have this little video to show you. It's been exhibited at Gardner Museum once. Oh, sorry, I think the internet connection is a little bit low. There is no voice in this. It's just a little video. And sorry. The other concept that I played with in this series that comes from the hybridity is third space. The concept that became viral in 1980s, and it talks about the third space that usually immigrants experience. It's not a first origin space, and it's not the second arrival society, but it's the third space that we create and we interact with each other to be able to live, to survive. And it comes from that interweaving of diverse cultural influence that we sometimes carry with ourselves or encounter in our new or arrival society. And this concept is transcend the traditional understanding of cultural and belonging concepts, and sometimes even it challenges these concepts as active live situation as present and passive past existence of migrants. This I want to talk about a little bit about, and I forgot to mention their names of each rhino. Obviously, each of them carry a specific story. So this one called the Rhino I know, the Dreamer. So aesthetically, I want to talk about the elements and motifs that I use in this series. I usually get influenced by my cultural background and training in art universities in Iran, in my BA and MA. And as you see, I use calligraphy and traditional craft sometimes, which is working with clay and shaping them in this way to basically because I know how to do that, and I'm trained in this way. And I use these motifs because as a child, I was deeply influenced by my father's practice of calligraphy all the time. And I impressed by this craftsmanship and the patience and this contemplative solidarity that my father practiced when she was creating pieces like this. And this work is actually, I asked him to write the poem that I read to you, and I transferred that into underglaze. It's a little bit technical, but I transferred it as an underglaze, and then I fired the piece, and this happens that you see here. The Rhino that you see here, it's actually an augmented reality that I created. It's funded by art organization named Etobicoke Art, and it's in Islington Village in Toronto. It's still there, I believe. So people could have a certain app and go into the belly of this creator and see the poem right there. And they could experience this sculpture in this scale. These are the other examples of the series. I just wanted to show them to you. One other concept that I usually work with is the women body. And this work represents that. These are the work in progress, but again, continuing the concept. I made this one after the government of Iran shooting the airplane, the Ukrainian airplane, and I named them the flyers. It's still in progress. Again, other works they are not named even, but I'm working on them. And speaking of rhinos, I cannot mention the extinction of them. I created the baby rhino because I found out that in the world, according to the scientists, they are extinct, of course. And right now, only 30,000 of them exist today, compared to 20th century that there were 500,000 of them. And I call this one the baby, the rhino I know, the baby. Thank you for listening to me. I hope that it was joyful for you. Would like to hear any question, comment, feedback for me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Aitak John, for this fascinating presentation and your fascinating artworks, the Rhino I know. And I forgot to mention that once all the presenters complete their presentation and the speech, we will have some time for the Q&A. So we push the Q&A session to the very end of the session. And for the next presenter, I have the honor of introducing Nasim Pirhadi. Nasim is a multidisciplinary artist who uses video, sound, the olfactory senses, performance and natural materials like sugar, basil seeds, and water to create a multi-sensory experience in which each component is interconnected. Her works explore culturally sensitive topics in the complex socio-political environment of her home country, Iran. Her research-oriented practice engages with feminist approaches, female identity, and subjectivity. Nasim participated in group shows from Canada to Germany, Austria, England, Sri Lanka, and the United States. She won the selected award of the third Contemporary Drawing Festival in Iran in 2011 and was shortlisted as one of the 8 finalists for the Behnam Bakhtiar Award in Monaco, France in 2017. She received the Odein Foundation-led Travel Award for a research trip to New York in 2022. Nasim John, the floor is all yours. I will put each speaker's contact information in the chat box as well for you guys to connect with them.
Thank you for having me. Let me share it again to share the sound as well. I forgot that. Yes, this is my... in this presentation, I am going to talk about one of my recent projects. And do you have my screen? Is it shared?
Yes, Nasim. Yes, Nasim.
My work are mostly the result of combining objects and natural elements that are repurposed into new structures or have been layered. I try to cultivate mistakes and surprises, precariousness to make work that could transcend literal association. I try to connect with the material by touching and smelling and to find the potential. And this process allows me to learn about the new material on a deeper level. My practice is multidisciplinary, including installation, video art, sound, drawing, and performance. And my process generally begins with gathering a material, documenting the progress, and creating initial concept sketches. The work I'm doing is actively confronting and exploring the social instability. One response of this confrontation is through my recreation of a zurkhane within the gallery space. And a zurkhane is a traditional gym that only men are allowed to enter and participate in, and whose name translates to House of Strength. By recreating a zurkhane in a gallery space, I arrange it with reimagined tools that define a new sort of zurkhane. In zurkhane, a variety of tools are utilized, including kapade, bow and chain, zarb and zang, drum and bell, mil, which is club, and takht shena, push-up boards, and sang, shield. Some of the characteristics of zurkhane that I thought about and emphasized for creating this space was symmetrical architecture and decoration, repetition of the forms, rosewater smell, and music, sound, poetry, and written forms. This is mil, one of the tools used in zurkhane, and is also a symbol of the zurkhane. And the process, I decided to make it myself within the wood shop. And the process of crafting mills involved laminating the wood planks, which I did this lamination. And then I put it on the lathe to carve it. This is a short video that shows the process. This is a bit loud. I try to make it a bit... This is the wood lathe, and I make different size of meals for the show, and then I use them for my molds. And another tool that they are using in zurkhane is sang. The process of making it is also in the wood shop, and I made a pair of wooden sang. And it's a huge rectangle piece of hardwood that has some similarities with the ancient shields. And sangs are used for weight training, and one pair of them is necessary for the exercise. This one is takht shena, push-up boards, and that is used for different type of push-up exercises. And on the right side, you can see the different wooden tools in my studio. And the next one is zang or bell. This is the lathe, for metal lathe, for making the head and the down part of the bell. I used copper to make and I made a bell out of copper, shaping it through raising and hammering. The handle was crafted with a metal lathe, and I shaped a flat sheet of copper into a three-dimensional form. And because of its flexibility, it is an ideal choice for raising, as it can be manipulated and formed. I began with a flat sheet of copper. I used various hammers and gradually shaped the sheet into a bell form. And throughout the raising process, I continually refined and adjusted the shape, ensuring symmetry and smooth transition. And then I burned it to make the final shape a little bit closer to the color of the final show. And in creating a Zulkhane in the gallery space, I challenged the exclusionary practice in Zulkhane by creating alternative space where people, regardless of their gender, can gather and engage in activities that are traditionally associated with these places. This project invites people who enter this environment to explore the cultural significance of this space, work out with the wooden tools, and challenge patriarchal norms and values. By the space of Zulkhane, I want to challenge dominant narrative and create a more diverse and inclusive cultural landscape. The entrance of the Zulkhane, you can see on the left side, one of the Zulkhane in Iran. The entrance of it is very low, that passersby have to bend over. This is a sign of humility and respect. This act serves as a powerful symbol of the values and beliefs embodied by the Zulkhane. In this show, I created a short entrance that requires the audience to bend over and enter the Zulkhane space. The short entrance serve as a symbol of egalitarian attitude applied to a specific category of citizens. By requiring all individuals, regardless of their status or position in society, to bow down in order to enter the space, the Zulkhane reinforced the idea that everyone is equal and should be treated with respect and dignity. In this show, the entrance to the space serves as a threshold between the external world and the internal space. It is a point of transition where individuals leave behind the chaos and distractions of the outside world and enter a space of intentionality and focus. I worked with different kind of material to find the material that it was close to my ideas, and I worked with soap, resin, and at the end I decided to work with sugar, which was giving me more translucent kind of texture. And I created cast sugar version of the wooden tools that I had previously crafted and using two-part molds. And this is the process of casting different tools and sugar, of course, heating it, the process of heating it, and then pouring it in the molds and waiting it for drying. And this is the result of sang and meal that I made for that project. And let me talk about the sugar and why I chose sugar. I sought to challenge the traditional masculinity in Zulkhane, often associated with the wooden tools, by using sugar as a medium. This choice redefines what it means to be strong and powerful by subverting the idea that power can only be represented in certain way, here certain material. I aim to question and reflected on societal constructs of gender roles and expectation in a patriarchal system, as the sugar sculptures are much heavier than their wooden counterparts. They represent that what it means to be powerful without succumbing to constricting societal standards. It is common to find the walls of the Zulkhane covered with photos of previous Pahlavans who were the members of the club. As women cannot be the member of the Zulkhane, there are no photograph of women in this space. I created a series of self-portrait that address women absence, both in practice and representation, where I perform various physical exercises that were traditionally reserved for men. And now the performance with the tools. The process of performing with the Zulkhane tools involve planning, training, and repetitive practice. And I immerse myself in the techniques of the Zulkhane, studying video tutorial to understand how to wield the tools with precision. I perform with this tools in front of the camera, capturing my performance and video. These videos were then projected in the gallery and enabling the audience to witness and engage with the performance and experience the tools in action. This is one of the videos. I'm showing just part of it. And this one is performance with Sang, the other tool. The video of this one was also played in the space. I don't know if you can. And this is the next performance, which was a spinning performance. That the objective of this exercise is for the athlete to start spinning at first and then try to reach their full speed limit that I did in the next video. I started slowly and then little by little the speed is going up. And the experience of this artwork is not complete without the participation of the viewers who are invited to work out with the tools and become part of the conversation. And the Buddha tools are on the floor of the gallery, and the audience can use the majority of them to do the different exercises, mimicking the video and photos showing how to use them. And the tool that I made challenge the idea that the artwork as a static object and instead position it as a dynamic and ever-changing experience in the gallery space for the audience. And in the creation of Zulkhane space, I incorporated sense to create a sense of intimacy between the viewer and the space they enter. In order to imbue the environment with the rosewater sense, I applied it to the tools. This act heightened the sensory experience for the audience as they interacted with the tools, allowing them to intimately perceive the aroma. This approach allowed viewers to engage with the multisensory experience of the Zulkhane space, prompting them to reflect on the intersection of perception and sensory experience. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nasim John, for this brilliant presentation. Shifting solid sociocultural constructs through your artworks. That was amazing. And our next speaker is Mahak Rouhina. Mahak holds a master's degree in visual communication from Tarbiyat Modarres University, Iran. With a profound interest in the intersection of tradition and modernity, her thesis on historical monuments exemplified her ability to critically engage with cultural motifs. Mahak's professional experience includes participation in art competitions. She is also a Persian carpet designer, reflecting her dedication to preserving and reinterpreting traditional art forms. Currently, Mahak is pursuing a second master's degree in art history at the University of Toronto. Her research interests encompass diverse periods and cultural contexts, showcasing a commitment to exploring the multifaceted dimensions of visual culture and heritage. Mahak John, please go ahead and share your screen.
Thank you so much, Nagarjan. And good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this presentation today. Before I delve into the main content, I'd like to provide you with a brief overview of what you can expect to see. I created a short animated movie for this presentation, and due to time constraint in both the creation and presentation process, I kept this video short and simple. However, I aim to effectively illustrate the key point of my project. All the images and visuals featured in this video are derived from my master degree project in visual communication, completed in 2020. Through this project, I aim to explore modern graphic capabilities in historical decorations and bring them into today's life. Specifically, I focus on how a historical monument served as a profound source of inspiration for my work. This video showcases a small part of this project, highlighting the process and the resulting design. And I invite you to watch this video.
Hello everyone, I'm Mahak, and I'm thrilled to have you here for my presentation. Today I want to share a segment of my previous master's thesis with you. It's focused on a historical mausoleum in Qom, Iran, known as the tomb of Khaja Ali Safi, who was one of the rulers of the 14th century AD. This mausoleum is adorned with vibrant plasterwork and intricate brickwork that envelops the entire interior space. In my project, I delved into the historical background of this structure and concentrated on reconstructing its decorations. I drew inspiration from these decorations to design modern and practical patterns. This mausoleum, also referred to as a tomb tower, houses the tombs of 3 local rulers of Qom and dates back to the year 1372. Let's start with the interior of the mausoleum. As you can see, it is richly decorated with a variety of designs, from Quranic inscriptions to geometric and floral patterns crafted with plaster and brick. My approach was to meticulously reconstruct these designs using computer software. By making slight modifications, I was able to create new patterns that resonate with contemporary graphic design. For instance, consider this simple brick. Despite its plain design, it is the most frequently repeated pattern in the structure and serves as its defining feature. By replicating this pattern and incorporating colors found in the mausoleum, I transformed it into a distinctive element with a historical identity tied to Qom. I utilized these patterns in various modern applications such as website design and accessories like t-shirts, mugs, and envelopes. By either directly using or adapting these patterns, I integrated them into modern life. These designs even won awards in the clothing design category at an internal Iranian festival. Next, let's move on to other artifacts left by these rulers, now preserved in the Gom Museum. These include glazed tiles and copper vessels. Using the patterns found on these tiles, I illustrated one of the stories by Nizami, the renowned Persian poet. This story is about Majnun, a man who retreats to the desert due to his love for Layla and forms a bond with the animals there. All the animal and plant motifs in these illustrations are directly derived from the patterns on the tiles. Here you can see posters and logos inspired by a copper plate from the same period. By examining various parts of the plate, I created new and diverse designs. This influence from historical motifs is evident across my works, from poster and logo designs to book illustrations and even carpet designs. In general, these designs are not only inspired by historical art and culture but also incorporate modern and graphic elements, creating a bridge between the past and the present. Each design is crafted with precision and attention to detail, showcasing the profound impact of historical art on contemporary creativity. These projects demonstrate how we can use artistic heritage to create new works that align with current tastes, providing both artistic and cultural satisfaction. Thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this journey through historical art and modern design.
Mahak John, are you done with your presentation?
No, just a bit.
Sure.
Thank you for watching my video. And to conclude my presentation, I like to highlight that historical sites, especially buildings, embody a significant portion of the culture, civilization, and identity of past generations. Despite the passage of several centuries, these sites remain as precious and invaluable gems for future generations. A careful study of the visual values inherent in the decorative elements left behind from the past reveals a vast array of distinctive decorative and original motifs. Proper and informed use of these elements in ways that suit contemporary conditions can not only provide a rich visual resource for today's graphic designers, but also prevent them from being forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mahak John, for this fabulous presentation, integrating historical motifs from the past into the present. Very interesting. Our last speaker, last but not least, is Raha Fard. Raha is an Iranian-Canadian artist based in the GTA, Canada. She holds an MFA degree in the Interdisciplinary Masters in Art, Media, and Design program from OCAD University, where she also earned her BFA. Also, she has a master's degree in telecommunication engineering and 15 years of experience before coming to OCAD University. She works in multiple disciplines such as drawing and painting, installation, digital art, and making short films. Her works highly engage with critical perspectives on human rights issues in her homeland, Iran. Raha explores the intersection of body, psychoanalysis, politics, and art as a member of the Iranian diaspora and as a cancer survivor. She has participated in several group exhibitions in Iran, Canada, Italy, and Korea. Some of the awards she has won are OCAD U President's Award, Patricia Joy Alpert Memorial Award, Ontario Graduate Scholarship for 2 years, Graduate Studies Research and Travel Grant, First Year Graduate Students Award, and Scarborough Arts 36th Annual Juried Exhibition Staff Pick Award for Visual Art. Also, she published a novel in Farsi called Mahv Shodegi, or Evanescence, in 2023 with Mehri Publication Company based in the UK, which was included in the list of the 10 prominent Farsi books published in 2023-2024 outside of Iran by BBC Farsi. Raha Jan, please share your screen with us. We are all ears.
Hi, and I am glad to be here. Thank you, everyone. Share some. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, my name is Raha Farz, and I'm very glad to be here today to share with you my MFA research, which called Embodiment of the Intertwined, در رفتن جان از بدن. As an Iranian female artist living in self-imposed exile and as a cancer survivor, I interrogate my body and my soul about what I have experienced in my social political time and place. My research applied a combination of a studio-based exploration supported by library-based investigation, which lies in the intersection of psychoanalysis, trauma's physical and psychological impact, displacement, politics, and art. When more than 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, the physicians told me the stressful lifestyle as a potential cause. And I decided to go back to my days in Canada and see what was the most stressful events that impacted my body. And I intended to consider the social political pressures that I have burdened as a member of Iranian diaspora on those days. So I designed a score practice and I monitored and watched my body for 10 minutes each day for 15 days while I was watching and reading the news of Iran. That was the simultaneous with the woman life freedom revolution in Iran. And after 15 days done, during those 15 days, I just noted my bodies and my psychological reactions. And after it's done, I found out a lot of medical and psychological disorders, like digestive problems, high heart beating, pain in my surgical areas. And this was a point that notified me about the connection that we have in what we experience in our daily life and with our body. That was very important for me. And to me, this was defined by the sense of empathy. I don't want to go to detail to empathy, but we know always that people are different in feeling empathy about the others. And this difference comes for me in my research. I came to the answer this question with Jungian theory archetypes, which Carl Gustav Jung described unconscious patterns through manners we perceive, organize, and interpret the events in our lives as archetypes. Also, Pearson and Marr they have a book that in that book they introduced a model of measurement that assists people in recognizing the archetypal stories they live in. They call this model PMAI. And also the archetype, Jung introduces 12 different archetypes, and archetypes also have negative side that we call them shadow. When an archetype is repressed or hyperactive, it's a negative side of it, and it's a shadow. I only want to go to the one archetype that is connected to my research, which is caregiver archetype. Caregivers also always show care, concern, and compassion for the others, and feature a helping personality. They desire to resolve the others' issues, and when they go to be hyperactive, they unconsciously experience martyrdom, enabling others, and guilt tripping. For me, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I had some consultation sessions with a Jungian psychoanalyst, and she said, I have a highly active caregiver inside me. And when she said that and explained that for me, I found out, and I remember just what I felt during, for example, the November 2019 massacre in Iran, that I wanted to scratch my face with a knife, that I was thinking I should have the trace of these days on my face. Or after PS752 shut down with IRGC, I couldn't pray for myself and my family for a long time, and because I thought, why should God care for us when he didn't care for those families? And Pearson and Marr in their book discussed the above feelings very, very clearly. Caregiver willing to sacrifice even his own body for health and succor of the others. And this came me to this phrase that an exaggerated caregiver feels responsibility for easing the situation for the whole world. And when he can't do anything for the people that are experiencing trauma, they would experience anxiety and stress and depression. And I came to this point that I should know what all the stresses that a caregiver, highly active caregiver, would burden in this situation, how those stresses would impact the body. And I found Gabor Mate's fantastic book and other books, but the main research for me was this book, When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress. Gabor Mate argues that biological and psychological activity are not independent. Are not independent, and they have mutual effects with each other. In cancer occurrence, damaged cells won't be eliminated by the DNA repair process or cell death, and this is the stress that affects the process, the DNA repair process. It stops the DNA repair process and doesn't let that to do its responsibility, repair the cells. And he says a very important phrase. He has a very important phrase that was very important for me. A disease is not a direct and simple outcome of an external attack, but it spreads in a vulnerable host whose internal environment is disordered. So coming to my work, my body is my main symbolic and literal material for my work. Since the only access point to all the above is my body, and I can monitor the distortions in my mind, psyche, and soul through it, thus, in my visual projects, my body is one of the fundamental materials. As Sarah Ahmad says in her book, the body forms through a space and through what it has experienced as a norm repeatedly. So my body, my own body, has everything that I have experienced, I felt, everything from outside and inside both. And it brings all of them into my work. So my body is one of my main materials. The other, my main materials, is the Persian rug. Me as an Iranian living in self-imposed exile, like many immigrants, I seek to reconstruct my lost homeland in my new home here in Canada, to feel it as a home that is belong to me, that Adorno says to be dual in somewhere, and to be able to be dual in somewhere. Theodor Adorno says you should have the things that belong to you, to your past, and to your roots, to be able to dwell somewhere. And also having the Persian rug as one of my main material has another logic beyond my own connection, Persian rock connects to all the people of my country. All the people from any economical or social level, they at least have one Persian rug in their home. It doesn't matter expensive or cheap, but they have only at least one Persian rug. And they weave, people weave the Persian rug with their hands, with their body. And they live on the rugs, they sit on the rugs, they mourn on the rugs. You see in the news that people, fathers and mothers, the parents, are sitting on the rugs and mourning for their children that being killed, for their loved ones. And this was one of my main connection to what I felt about my subject. In my art, I rebuild Persian rug with my body, through my body. The indexical imprint of my body recollects the memories of my homeland and the trauma that resonates through affliction of the chronic pain I had experienced. This creates an unsettled ambivalence between the trauma state in my homeland and the longing of my cultural comforts of lost family kinships, while existing between two spaces of Iran as a memory and Toronto, Canada as a physical space. My mind is in one space and my body is in another space, while my soul lingers in the space in between. The Persian rug acts like a memory with impressions of my body, both visible and invisible at the same time. It creates a transitional state between cultural and personal. The first project I want to introduce to you is the Evanescence Archival Performance Series. That is a photograph series. We took around 700 photographs while I was moving unconsciously and my body was covered with the Persian rug. The photos depicts my isolation and loneliness in the white diminished space and the unsettling presence that surrounds me. This is some of the photos that you see. The moving is being shown in the photos, and this is the video I made out of those series. In this video, each body dissolves into the next one, and the traces of the previous body and what it has perceived will continue to exist into the next body. The video depicts my body's integration of what it has gone through to that point in time and place in every single second. And I show a bit of the video. The sound of the video is the documentary sound of shooting unarmed people in Iran's streets in the Woman Life Freedom Revolution. And the second project I want to introduce to you is the Roads of Blood sand installation. This is a sand installation inspired by Persian rock. This embodies my body's physical presence, soul, and mind in the space at the same time. It internalized a sense of empathy through the physical and mental struggle and my unsettling position in reconstructing the Persian rock as a link to my motherland. You can see, and also my sitting position resonates with the sitting position of some rock weavers in Iran as well. And the sand installation also has the ephemeral characteristic that it evokes acts of erasure through its accidental and intentional smudges and its destruction while people pass through it. This impermanence reverberates my transient emotional status as an Iranian immigrant in Canada while engaging with society. I am not able to carry the emotions and feelings for a long time in my heart. In my daily life, any small sign takes me to my motherland and the traumatized bodies there. This is another design of the sand installation, Roads of Blood sand installation that I have done for my thesis exhibition. I brought my silhouette bodies from that Evanescence archival series. I made the silhouettes of those photos, and I made the floral pattern with those silhouettes. And this rock is inspired by Kheshti Bakhtiyari Persian rock that you see here. It has 15 squares in it. And by bringing my body, I add into the sand installation, I just add another layer of my body's presence that is also fragile. It's ephemeral to the work. And you can see some of the details, and these are the silhouettes of my bodies. All of this has made with the silhouettes. And also I erase in the uninstallation. I erased. I uninstalled my sand installation with my own body, and because it had my own body on it, and I erased my body's image on the sand through its own movement to evoke the impermanence nature of the sand installation and intertwine my ephemeral existence into the work. And this is a very long video. The next work I want to introduce is the Woven Bodies series. For the Woven Bodies series, I incorporate my body silhouette, from the same Evanescence archival performance series photographs, to make the floral patterns of Persian rock by digital collage in Photoshop, and then I woven them with industrial jacquard loom. My body is repeated between the textile patterns of the Persian rock and the photo-documented performance act of being covered by the rock itself. It has the 4 designs I made, 4 different designs. These are the digital series that you can see, and this is a detail of those digital series that you can see my bodies, the floral patterns made by my bodies, and those photos with the rock. These all are just, the lines are not my body, the others are all my body. And this is has woven with the industrial jacquard loom. And weaving that is not only evoke the carpet's embodiment for the audience, but also resonates with the interwoven pain in my body. This is the first one, the Lachak Toranj Persian rock. That is a regular Persian rock that we see everywhere. This is the normal design of Persian rock. This is the Mahak Persian rock, which is a Kurdish design, and also this is the woven one, and you can see the patterns of my body here. This is the Baluchi Persian rock again, and also I want to add that Baluch and Kurd was the 2 community that I chose specifically because they have been suppressed the most during the 45 years. They were 2 communities that has the most that had burdened the most pressures. And this is the Harris Persian rock, and you see the geometric patterns in the Harris Persian rock, and these are my body silhouette again. And the last project I want to introduce you is the Blood Traces series. The description, I selected 6 photos of that Evanescence archival series, and I painted them with my own blood and with the brushes that were crafted out of my hair. In the Blood Traces series, I depict the connection between my blood and what I have experienced emotionally and psychologically through painting my body silhouette with my own blood. This is my blood. This has all I had experienced, all, even the DNAs and DNA repair system, all my blood has everything in it, from outside me and inside, what I have experienced inside. And the blood traces stories not only resonates with my medical and psychological history, but also evokes the blood stains on the killed and injured people's clothes that we see a lot during all those times in our country. This is a photo of the blood traces stories and in my thesis exhibition. And these are the two overall shots of my exhibition, embodiments of the intertwined در رفتن جان از بدن.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Raha Jan. What a journey and what an impressive choice, Persian rugs and the mind-body connection. Really, all the presentations were unique in themselves. And yes, let's see if our audience has any questions to ask from the presenters. You can either write your questions in the chat box or open your cameras and unmute yourself.
Negarjan, can I just interrupt you here?
Sure, sure.
Sorry, Aitak is going. If anybody has any question about, like, you know, from Aitak, you can just ask right now. Otherwise, she's leaving to pick her daughter up from the daycare. Thank you.
Yes. So first questions go to Aitak because she's in a hurry. Yeah, the recording, Klana, it will be available on Elahé Omidyar Mir-Djalali Institute's website and YouTube. Yeah, even the YouTube channel, because we also have a YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay, I think I can let Aitak go. And thank you so much, Aitak Jan, for joining us for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. If there is any question, my website and my Instagram and email is with you guys. So
thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. So apparently nobody has any question. I just wanted to thank the brilliant and thought-provoking artistic project that, you know, everybody brought today. And I wanted to thank who supported me and us for today's event, especially Dr. Tawakkoli, who was not here today. And thank you, Dr. Elahé Omidyar Mir-Djalali, for supporting us. And thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Lemaja. Just before we end, I'm going to just put the channel, the YouTube channel of Elahé Omidyar Institute up here for people to join. Yes, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.